And we are live at the stage. Hello and welcome to Bolt Action 1944. I'm here with a special guest, Bo Mortensen. Say hi, Bo.
Hi.
He is a well-known tournament player, Gurkha player, one of my loves, Gurkhas. And we're going to talk about the British armies that just arrived just recently.
Yep.
Bo, what do you think about the new book?
In some ways, I am underwhelmed, and in some ways, I think it's very, very, very competitive. So, it's a little of both. I think I'm of course very, very sad that the assault Brits of V2 are gone completely, but that's me. Yeah.
I don't honestly. If they were going to take them out, why didn't they just leave them out of the core book? And if you're going to put it in the core book, I don't think you should take the unit out in the army sub. It should have been in there. And they're not really a nation, honestly. They were a unit, not a nation.
Yeah.
Like Canadians were a nation, and so you got all these special Canadian units. Of course, we do have a Canadian land mattress, so I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, true. And it also feels weird to me that there's at least one of the national special rules is a close combat special rule. But I mean, apart from maybe the commandos, are you really going to close combat without a dedicated close combat unit like the Gurkhas were?
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean, if they had made one of the other units like the SAS, which I know you sort of like, into a new close combat unit, maybe that works, but as is, I'm not sure.
Yeah. So gone is just pushing up and just bludgeoning your opponent with close assaults. You really got to be careful how you do it.
Yeah.
It can be done. So I had quite a bit of success this weekend with it.
Yeah.
I kind of would
really expect to lose guys when you do close combat, right?
Yeah. You're going to lose guys.
Yeah.
Good thing about the SAS is they're going to fight to the last man.
Yeah.
So if your opponent loses any one of those rounds in the combat, then it's over for them.
Yep. Which is neat. Yep.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you asked what I think about the new book. Like, as we said, I'm sad that close combat is sort of not there anymore. Maybe we'll see SAS do close combat. Yeah. But oh my God, is mechanized Brits with officers in armored transports going to be a thing?
Yeah. Pushing up. Yeah, especially if you can take some submachine guns or even a light machine gun and you jump out.
Yeah.
Maybe you put two of the air landing squads in a scout car with an officer. Well, you can't do that. Now you'd have to have something bigger. But you jump them both out and shoot. At the same time, you can snap two of them.
And on top of that, the Brits now get some traffic control with the military police as well. So if you have your whole army and it's all mechanized and you have your military police standing there just directing the vehicles up, I mean, might be a thing.
Yeah, because you might ignore the -1. You can do some outflank or even reserve. So reserve's quite good because you can still come in 12 inches on the side and you can kind of pick and choose where you come in. Yeah. So let's see. Let's go over the. Yeah. So the fixed bayonets. Of course, we talked a little bit about that. It would have been nice to be able to pick one. maybe you want vengeance. I don't think that would have been too hard to do, but
no.
Actually, I think it does help a little bit if like a small team or something gets assaulted. Something I forgot about this past weekend was fixed bayonets, and my mortar got assaulted, heavy mortar. I would have got an extra swing. Might have made a difference. I don't know, but
might have. Yeah. But you know what? We might, when the armies of the Commonwealth gets out, the Brits might get more options to take different kinds. Like there will be a Canadian rule, there'll be an Indian rule, there'll be South African.
Yeah.
So there might be new options coming with that gets here. But until then, we're going to have to contend with just having what we have in this book.
Yeah, that's like so. The Maori back in V2 had some special rules. They had like a whole plethora of them. And in a strange way, if you want it to be a little whacker, you could make the Gurkhas Maori.
Yeah,
which was insane.
But you know what I did see at a tournament once in Scotland? That was one player had made Maori native irregulars. So he had taken veteran native irregulars, made them Maori, and then he could forward deploy them because that was
charged through rough ground.
And charged through it was and he was trying to prove a point, which I think he did because he ended up on the top table. So against me. Yeah. That was a fun fight.
I bet.
Yeah.
So artillery support, no more double strikes. Now you roll twice. When I first saw that in the leak, I was thinking, maybe you get to roll twice to see if you get a direct hit, which would be very
overpowered. Would be overpowered. Yeah. So just roll twice to see if it lands. It makes it way more reliable, I think. Yeah. But of course, it sucks that you're not getting 2 shots.
So my thought on that is, I don't know how many times I've gotten delayed to the point where the second one never came in.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh boy, or miscalculation. And I hit my own stuff because it miscalculated and it went 18 inches the wrong way. Or it went off the board.
That's a good point because it's very unlikely now to miscalculate and land on your own side.
So 2 weeks ago I played a game and I brought just a straight commando observer. I rolled snake eyes. The only good part about that was he had run away from where I placed it and it went in the same direction that he ran. So it still hit him. I think I ended up getting one of my guys too, but it wasn't. It was just pins. But I played a tournament last year where I rolled a miscalculation and it knocked out like 2 units of mine because it went right on top of me. So I think it's pretty good. Is it worth 75 points? I know in V2, I almost in a dice cap tournament, I've actually not taken the observer because I wanted to use the dice for something else.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be one of the things that most of us British players is going to have to figure out. Do we want that observer? Yeah, it's more reliable, but is it worth the points? Is it worth taking that dice as well?
We'll look at my list later, but if you were just taking an observer, I don't think they're worth the points just to put pins out. But there's a combination I think that might work, and we can look at that later. But the officer bonus, come on, lads. Yeah, that's really good.
So good. I think that's gonna be what most people now are going to build their British armies around. That officer bonus is so powerful. It again is something that really breaks one of the mechanics of the game of the pins. It really destroys that, and it means that your army is going to keep going all the time. Then you have the problem of keeping your officers alive, which but there are ways around that, I think.
How about the Stuart Kangaroo for a commander?
I mean, looking at all the kangaroos, there's this priest, there's the ram, Sherman, there's the steward kangaroo now as well, which I like. I have a bunch of stewards that I'm not going to run as Dr. Stewards anymore, so why not,
Yeah.
Pop the top. And then all the American ones, the M3, the M5, the White Scout car, all of those really good options for transport. I think we're going to run a lot of mechanized spreads. That I think is what we're going to play now.
Yeah. And then talking about pins for King and Country, the guards.
Yeah. If you can take guards, that's all I'll say. If you can take guards and your men, take it.
Right? Yep. Because losing that 2 pins, it can make a difference in shooting with a minus or not shooting with a minus.
Exactly. And because you have that +3/+5 officer, you're going to make it.
And if you're moving and you don't shed those and you got a pin, you're hitting on 6s. So there's a huge difference in how many hits you're going to get between 5 and 6.
It's going to be massive. Yeah. It really is. I honestly think that we're going to see a lot of guard armies.
Yeah.
I think.
As a matter of fact, I got to try to figure out how to squeeze a few in some of my in my list that I ran. It's only a few points if you're putting them on small teams. You're only talking a couple points, so it's not a big expenditure, and you can take it regular. You don't have to upgrade them to veteran.
True. Yep.
Yeah.
No, I think running them as veteran might be worth it, but because then you have veterans that never cares about pins, that never gets the minus. Yep.
Yeah. Some units, the jump to veteran is not very much, and it's almost worth taking.
Yeah.
That's like the anti-tank rifle. That one would be a good choice for guards and veteran because it's only 8 points to upgrade it to veteran, and then for 2 more points you make it where it's probably never going to shoot with a minus. So yeah.
Yep.
The airborne rules. I mean.
Yeah, for me they're a little meh because we have so many units now that sort of don't care about that do stubborn. I mean, the Americans have stubborn, the Germans have stubborn. Now we saw the Soviet rules as well. They also get stubborn. Everyone gets stubborn. Is it special? No.
When everybody was running around with flamethrowers, it was useful. Matter of fact,
it was really useful. Yeah.
I wished I had to run my Gurkhas as para-Gurkhas because there were some flamethrowers in V2. But I don't know how few times I've actually needed to take a morale check where the pins, mattered. Usually at that point, your unit's done. So pretty much it's fire insurance. That's about all that it's really good for.
Yeah.
The commandos.
Commandos is nice. I think you can do a lot of stuff with commandos. Maybe especially the unit itself because you can take a lot of SMGs on them.
Yeah.
So if you're going to run push units, I think commandos may be where it's at. Would I want my small teams to be commando? I'm not sure it's worth it.
Probably not. No. Yeah, that's the independent rule. You don't see many snipers, so I don't know how useful that's going to be. Snipers have really gone away.
They're gone away, and the independent rule is going to make them go away even more, right? Because I don't know if you viewers have read that, but it's the rule. Do you have it in front of you? It's something about that on a 3+, your NCO survives being sniped.
Yep. So the unit's NCO, and then technically the officer is the NCO, so it still applies to him. So as far as snipers, I think the snipers may actually be more useful than people give them credit for, because of the officer bonus, especially if you're playing a British player. You want to take out that company commander.
Yes, you can.
Go on target.
Yeah.
Unless they put him in for it.
Which is what people will do.
Probably going to do,
But if you can take him, that definitely is worth it.
Yeah. and against a German player, I think it would be useful, a sniper, because Germans have so many snap twos that if they're bringing a company commander, they're getting 5 snaps, and
they are. Yeah,
you want to take them out. Yeah. And then the last one is the Chindits, which I love honestly, in V2, I love my Chindits because they had a machine gun that could move and fire without a penalty. But then they took that away in 3, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I ain't playing with them anymore. Yeah. But
I think you may want to push them out again.
Yeah, I've got a whole set of them.
Yeah. That fieldcraft thing, it is very strong, especially right now when people don't really know how to deal with it yet. I feel like there is something good in Chindits. So for me, I would want to go with a mixed army of guards and Chindits, I think, right now. That's where I see the most benefit at the moment, like mechanized guards and then Chindits for outflanking or other stuff, I guess. Yeah, I think that could be really cool. And then having that fieldcraft to move through terrain.
Yeah, so you could combine a 10-man Chindit with the fixed bayonets and assault through rough ground with 2 swings.
True. Yeah.
So,
might be worth it. Might be worth a try at least. Yeah.
So infantry, I guess saying there's not a lot of choices for infantry. Although you can kind of modify them any way you want with for king and country. You could make regular guys into airborne, which is like but nah.
Yeah, I mean, you have one of each of the units as well. You have the airborne, you have the commandos, you have the Chindits. So, I mean, but for me, it's just a little lackluster. It feels like we're missing a lot of units. Maybe that will feel different once we get the Commonwealth book. Right now, I'm not impressed by the infantry selection as such. I mean, the units are okay. I'm just it's not a big spread of units, is it?
No. The one thing they did fix, though, is engineers, which was puzzling in the core book, they don't get a flamethrower. And it's like, engineers that don't get a flamethrower, why? But now they have a flamethrower. If you want to run a barbecue list, you can do it now with Brits.
And it might be worth it.
Make them guard.
Make them guard and just rush towards the enemy and go company commander and then snap to a bunch of them out of an LVT. Both me and Randy likes to run LVTs.
Yeah, you could load it down.
Yeah, you could
put it in reserve and come in wherever you want with it. And,
a couple of flamethrower teams as well. That's a lot of barbecue going out of that LVT.
So I ran some Germans a while back, and the good thing about the Germans is the extra snap too. Of course, you could do a company commander and it'll work for the Brits, but being able to move the vehicle, shoot with the officer, shoot with the vehicle, and then jump out 2 flamethrower units all in one go was huge. Let's see, what else is there in the infantry? I think that's it. Pretty much all the
that is pretty much it.
Yeah.
So and me and Randy already talked on my channel that there's a couple of good choices, I think, in the artillery section, right?
Yeah. So you see, you have the core military police. Of course, if you want to do some outflanking stuff, you could bring one of those. But the medium machine gun, to highlight that, as far as guards, I think you would definitely be a mistake if you didn't bring a medium machine gun with guards, because they're going to get pinned, they're going to get shot at, they're going to get pinned. And if you can knock off those 2 pins and shoot, that's great.
That is great, right? Yeah. And if you look at the artillery section to support, I mean, most people won't run artillery, but there's a couple of very interesting choices because they have 360 on anti-tank guns. So the Q4 and the 3.7-inch, which Randy, you made me aware of. I hadn't really noted that, and I was like, yeah, that seems weird, and went past it. But 360,
it's huge on ambush.
It is huge on ambush. I mean, boom.
If you're playing Fog of War, you got to put it on ambush, right?
Oh yeah, hitting on a 3+. I mean, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yep. So one of their artillery choice is the Bofors, the 40mm Bofors. It's 360. It's rotating platform in and make it guards, 4 points to make it a guard. So it ignores pins because everybody shoots at those if you got one on the table. If you're going to run artillery, I would say run multiples so that you can recrew.
Definitely, and have them close to each other and
within 12.
And I mean, there's a bunch of upgrades from the rulebook, right? We again have access to the land mattress, which, I mean, I don't like multi-rocket launchers, but they do what they do. Everyone sort of feels like they're a little overpowered still. The 25-pounder is also still good. So the artillery section is not bad, I think.
Not bad, no. And the land mattress, like I was saying, you can run that regular. And if you have a forward observer or any spotters from your force, spot for it. And then
it's a nice little combo there.
You only need one guy for it. So if you have an artillery piece nearby that needs a reinforcement, you can just ship a couple of guys over there, and you're still shooting the same with the land mattress.
I think I would place my artillery pieces in a triangle. So one, and then the land mattress behind. So if I lose some of the land mattress guys, I can take from both of the others, depending on.
That keeps your officer within 6 of all of them too. So he can.
Exactly. Right. What about what do we feel on vehicles?
Yeah, there's actually quite a few nice choices for tanks now for the British. My favorite is I like the Comet. Kind of limited that it doesn't have anything else to shoot at infantry wise because it doesn't have a hull. And they took away the 3-inch template, but they reduced the cost quite a bit. So I think if you put that out there, it's 10 armor from the front. It's not going. You got to really dedicate something strong to knock it out.
I'm a little bummed out that my Crusader AAs became open topped, which
that's because I've tried running the heavy autocannon Crusader, which is cheap. It's a really nice gun, but it seemed to get pinned massively. I mean, they just shoot at every little thing that can shoot at it.
You're using it wrong then, Andy. Randy, you're using it wrong. It doesn't get pinned. Not at all. Well, it does get pinned quite a lot. But I personally, I own 2 of the heavy version there. But can you hear me? Certainly, I
still there?
Out a bit. Yep, I'm back.
Yeah, I had a little hiccup there. So one thing I found out, I played a tournament here a while back, and I had the Crusader with the heavy autocannon. Was once it becomes immobilized, if it's assaulted, it's automatically destroyed.
Yeah.
And so I was playing demolition, and I used it to guard one of the things to guard my base, and they managed to hit it with a superficial and immobilize it. And then he charged it with like a 2-man officer team and wiped it out.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Apropos tournaments, you said that you had been to a tournament with a British list from the new book. Is that right?
So let's see. The last tournament I played was in Savannah, and that wasn't with the new book. No, I played 2 games this past weekend against a guy. I just went over there to the game store and we set up. We picked some tournament scenarios. The first one was red herring.
Yeah.
And that's 2 objectives are real and one's fake. And then the second one was hold until relieved.
So how did you what army did you take for that?
So I took my British Army. You want me to put this list up here? We'll kind of let's see. So there we go.
Organized. So you took a company commander.
Yep,
Nice.
I did take a company commander. With a pistol.
But did you run him in the Guy Lizard
Actually,
truck?
I put him in the Kangaroo because it was a little stronger. Because I didn't want him to get the Guy Lizard was strictly for my SAS troops. Yeah.
Right.
So the armored platoon came first the way I built this list because I wanted to get the points into the list first. Yep. So I had a Stewart just for being able to go after like mortar teams and infantry squads, kind of push around.
Yeah.
And then I brought 2 Humbers. I wanted to see how well they would work. I've run one, and one didn't seem to do it for me.
No, two's better, right?
Yeah, they work better in pairs.
What about the Stewart? Does that feel like when we were back in V2 playing the Darkest Stewart, or are we far from that?
Yeah, so I was a little disappointed in the Army's Up book that they didn't give it the extra shot that they gave the American Stewart, and I don't understand. So, I mean, you can split fire more now. Before you had to fire all 3 guns at the same target. The hull and the 2 lights always had to go, but now you can split the hull and the extra MMG. And I guess in the American one, you can split it extra. I think each machine gun, I don't know. But
maybe
it's 5 points cheaper than the American version. You don't get the recce, which is okay. But it's those 9 shots really matter way more than I think than the 23 did back in whether 18 or 23, depending on whether you fired a pintle. You can't even get a pintle, I don't think, on the British one.
Okay. Yep. This seems like a very light armored platoon you have here. What are you supported with?
Yeah, so we go into the all right. So heavy weapons platoon.
Right.
Another officer with a pistol, medium mortar, heavy mortar. Heavy mortar was just ungodly. I wrecked him with this heavy mortar.
Okay.
Nice. The only time it did die, it got assaulted in one game because they managed to push down the side and get around there because I had an objective right next to them. But yeah, and then I've got 1 light mortar. I wish I could put 2 in there, but I didn't have the point.
AT rifle.
AT rifle. And a Piat. And I put it in a Jeep. And you've got to get these things point blank from to work. There's just if you're shooting at range, you're just not going to survive.
And you got to go last in the turn as well, or first ordered eyes, snap to, boom, because otherwise you're going to get killed as soon as that Jeep moves up. If you're not careful,
Yeah, and I actually I blew up a T-34 with it, and I used the Guy Lizard was actually in front of it, blocking line of sight, and the Jeep was in behind it. And at the end of the turn, I just went around the Guy Lizard, and I was on a road, and moved up. I think it was like 16 inches because you get double movement, and then he pushed his T-34 up to the middle of the board, which I thought was maybe a mistake, but. I used the Guy Lizard to block the road, so he couldn't come any farther. I pushed the Guy Lizard right into his grill.
You did a suicide truck. Love it. Yeah.
And then, of course, they jumped out and they were able to get into his side and blew that tank up, which is probably why I didn't lose that truck that game. But yeah.
And then another rifle platoon.
Here's the core of it. This officer had a rifle because I think I had one extra. I probably could have thrown another rifle on another guy because I think I had 1249. Yeah, that was probably my mistake. But
2 SAS 8-man. Wow, that's a lot of fanatics.
They're ungodly. So 8 Gurkhas would have been 120 points. So you're paying a little bit more, but you're getting a lot more for them. And so they're now fanatic to the last man, unlike Japanese, where they'll break at one man. If you got 2 guys and you lose one, they take a morale check. SAS don't. And I think I may have lost one, but their ability to get on these objectives and just hold them and I can assault. So this guy had he had the T-34s, and he had 2 squads of veteran 10-man, all with SMGs and an LMG in each squad. And I assaulted these guys. Of course, I had to whittle them down a little bit first. I think I only lost 1 close combat. And I actually had, and this is me forgetting that I had fixed bayonets, so I would have had extra swing, and I didn't do it. But yeah, they were great. I think they can carry out assaults, but they can also hold objectives. Nobody's going to want to get near them. No. They're going to want to move up and shoot them, but I mean, you can go down, you can get into cover, and they just hang around. They'll take pins, doesn't matter. As long as there's one guy left, they're still holding the objective. Yeah.
And then the observer on top of that.
Yep. So now I have an air observer that was, or artillery observer that was upgraded to commando and then further to SAS. It's quite pricey. And I gave them all rifles because I really didn't want to get them point blank. I wanted to just use them, to shoot if I need to, but call in my bombardment and then go around and try to take out small teams and stuff. And they were, I didn't lose them either time, believe it or not. You can put them anywhere. I mean, you can hide them. So the trick is to hide them behind a building. Obviously, if it's prepared positions, it's the best option for them because then I know where the enemy's at and I can deploy accordingly. But I think.
Having because I mean, you're not just paying for the bombardment here, which would be a nifty trick, but you're putting 8 SAS into infiltration. You're in the middle of the board from the start.
If you can put them in hard cover.
It's pricey, but I mean.
Yeah, and if they're in hard cover, it's like, okay, well, my cover phase now 3.
Yep. That's a pretty good list. Yeah, I like it. It's very different from what we've seen before.
And there's the priest kangaroo.
Kangaroo, yeah. I like it.
I brought it in experience. It didn't have a gun, and the company commanders in it, so it didn't really matter. But 8 armor, I could push it up without worrying.
8 armor, that's enough, right? Yeah. I like that you're experimenting with this, Randy. It really is. It feels different, and that I think is what we need to do now with the new armies of Great Britain book. We need to experiment and do things differently.
Yeah, because the SAS are not just assaulters; they're just a tough infantry unit. It's not going to go away easy. The Gurkhas can still break and run. You get them pinned down or you lose half, they'll still take a morale check. Right. And I've lost Gurkhas that way. But, they'll get 4 or 5 pins and they lose, maybe they're down to 7 or 6 and they lose 3 guys and all of a sudden you take a morale check.
Yeah. Anywho, it's getting late for me. Is there anything we needed to discuss before we sign off now?
No, I think the only thing from the book that really puzzled me, and I get your thoughts on it, is the transports. Now, I think it may only apply to soft skins. They only get light machine guns now. You can't upgrade them to UMGs, which is, and they're 15 points, which is kind of insane. Usually,
for me, the transports have shifted quite massively. Like in the olden days, I would go for Bren carriers, but now and Bren carriers, the CV15, CV30 trucks, brilliant. Now I'm not going to do any of that.
No.
My trucks are going to sit on my shelf or become terrain, I think, because I'm going massively into American Lend-Lease transports for me. There's just something off with the way I feel like they're calculating many of these transports now. For me, the stars of the show are the priests of, the kangaroos of the different types. The White Scout car and the half tracks, the American half tracks M3 and M5. They're just very, very good with the HMG and all of that. I don't want to go and get myself a light machine gun. Why would I?
Yeah. So think about that guy lizard, because it is enclosed. It's fully enclosed, and it holds 10 guys.
Yeah.
You can put a full squad of something in there. So they don't take pins when they move up, which is not bad. The only downside is if you wanted to put an officer in it, he can't use his morale bubble outside the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you put your officer in your priest kangaroo or your steward kangaroo or whatever. That'll still work. Or the LVT, as you told me in the video on my channel, the LVT, because you get that massive footprint.
That's huge. It's like what, 8-10 inches long, and so
almost,
that bubble.
Yeah,
it's huge. The one thing I'm sad about, it's not in the book, is the C-15 armored truck. So it's not enclosed, it's open top, but it's an armored truck that holds 8 guys. That's cheap. If you wanted to just use something to push 8 guys up, but I guess we won't get that until we get Canadians, because that's
we'll wait for that.
All right.
Anywho, thank you for having me today, Randy. It was a pleasure to be on your channel for once.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Right.
All right. And that will do it, guys. So do all the little things, like, share, subscribe. I've got a bunch of other videos on there that, are pretty interesting to check out. I also did a video on version 2 to version 3. So some of the people that maybe haven't done, believe it or not, I had a friend of mine message me the other day that he's moving and he wanted to get in a bolt action game. And he was like, well, what's the changes to version 3? And I'm like, that's been like a year. You haven't played bolt action in a year? He's like, no. I'm like, wow. Okay. I said, go watch my video. So, yeah. Right. All righty. Bo, I will see you sometime. Hopefully, maybe we can get you over here in the States sometime and play at a tournament. That'd be a fun.
Warzone Atlanta. I'm going at some point. I'm definitely going at some point.
That's a good one. Yeah. All right.
Right.
See you later. Cheers.
Cheers.